played very tentatively. Oh, thank you. He played very tentatively in one of the first games, and at halftime he came out and really went after it. So I think that they told him, forget about being hurt, just go out and play.
Our officials for this evening's ball game, Hugh Hollins is here, along with Derek Stafford and Scott Wall. Bulls favored Hugh Hollins. There's the rook, Tim Duncan. And the Admiral, David Robinson. MJ taps it, but it goes right back to Duncan, and the Spurs will open up on offense. This year, San Antonio shooting very well. Top field goal percentage team in the league.
And right off the bat, you see the matchup, Luke Longley on David Robinson. David Robinson, left-hander from that block, likes that move to his left hand and was able to get that one up on the rim and down.
Bulls spread it out a little bit. Ron Harper goes right to the basket. Robinson there for the rebound. Gets that outlet pass up very quickly. They want to run. They like to push it up the floor. Defensively, they're different than the Boston Celtics, but offensively, they like to run, and they're pretty good when they get it up and down quickly. Tim Duncan, so the two big guys right away.
He went right in the hole when Robinson got the rebound. He went down and posted Luke up.
And that's the luxury that they have, Johnny, is that either one of those can rebound. Whoever gets it, the other guy can take off and run the middle of the floor and get good post position.
Inside, Caffey started to make the move. Robinson came over to double team. Now Jason with a turnaround. Randy Brown is there. Bulls with a fresh shot clock. Spurs pitching the shutout. A little over a minute gone. 4-0 San Antonio. Robinson top of the circle jumper. These two big guys will interchange a little bit. They play a high-low game, and they're again very effective at it. I'm trying to break the. Now Bulls can't do it. Bulls 4 for 4. San Antonio 2 for 3. Duncan backs in, and a foul called.
You see what Tim Duncan's done in his first two games. He got in foul trouble against Cleveland the other night. Had a little tough time with the bigger players, posting up strong. But he is a solid player. They love his skills.
Sports Channel like to welcome our affiliate Multimedia Cable viewers in Villa Park. As Vinny Del Negro hits the baseline jump shot. It is 6-0 Spurs with about 2 minutes gone in the first period. Ball is kicked. We were talking about San Antonio's made 3. The Bulls have not.
And what they're going to want to do is to go inside all night. Last year, all they wanted to do was shoot threes, and they did it real well. So far in 2 games, they've only taken 8 attempts, made 3 of them. They want to go down in that huge area.
Ball kicked loose. Luke tried to get it. Sean Elliott did out to Avery Johnson. Again, this is what they like to do. And the key is, I guess, Hacks, that they've got 2 big guys that can and do run the floor very well.
Absolutely. And then you have guys like Vinny Del Negro, who runs well, and Sean Elliott, who's getting himself back in shape. If you get Avery Johnson the ball, he's best when he gets a full head of steam and is able to go off the floor. You see, here's the matchup with Jason Caffey and Robinson. The Bulls come to help, and Harp gets him across the wrist. But already we've seen here early, both Jason and Luke had matched up against both Robinson and Duncan on 2 separate occasions. And right now with Robinson on Jason, he has that size advantage.
I would look for them to try to get Luke in foul trouble too, because Bill Wennington has got a spur or something in his right arm. He's having a problem, so you might see Joe Klein get a lot of time tonight if Luke gets in foul trouble. Plus they go with Dennis.
8-0 Spurs with the lead. Crowd getting a little restless here. Gets reversed by the Bulls, and a foul away from the ball, a holding foul. This looks like it's going to go on Sean Elliott.
The first 2 games, the San Antonio team has held their opponents to just 38% field goal shooting. You see the Bulls have not made one yet. And Phil thought they might have a tough time scoring. You look at these 2 shot blockers they have, they're going to make you try to hit perimeter jump shots. There's David Robinson stepping out and challenging Michael Jordan from 20 feet out.
And now Robinson is at the other end of the floor as MJ hits that. Robinson tried to block the shot and then released, anticipating his team getting the rebound. A block. Randy Brown's called for the block.
That was good anticipation. I thought that was a charge. Randy jumped right in front of him. Here's Randy. He guesses right. That's a charge.
Well, he had one on Iverson too, I thought, in the last game, and they called it a block on him.
This time Duncan up high, trying to make the one-on-one move, and a hit check call against Jason Caffrey.
That's 2 on Jason. Let's see what happens on the bench here.
Well, that was a possibility. Jason getting in early foul trouble here tonight.
Here comes Dennis. All right, there's the hand. He got a hand on the hip.
And actually put both hands on him. Saw Hugh Hollins make the call with 2 hands. But Tim Duncan, that's one of his great strengths. He goes from the top of the floor where he'll be a lot of time. He goes to either right or left very well. That time he took Jason off the dribble to his left.
He's got great footwork. That's one of the things that's impressed me. And we've talked about how good a passer he is. He's a good shooter, rebounder, all that. He's got tremendous footwork. Randy Brown knocks it loose and gets it back.
I think he's fundamentally as sound as you'll find. He was a late starter until the 9th grade. He didn't play, and he was a swimmer.
Followed his sister, who was a great swimmer. Robinson, 15.
See, this is what they can do. Whoever rebounds, Robinson, Duncan. Robinson that time gets it out. He's the trailer on the break. He stops at the free throw line. He can knock that down. You really have to be aware of that and get up on him.
Luke tried to post up down low. Luke again with position. This time gets it down low. Turnaround jumper by Luke to Reynolds home.
Got to keep him busy because he'll float and try to block shots at him.
You see Randy Brown go off of Avery Johnson. He does it again. They're going to make Avery Johnson make some jump shots. But when you close back out to him, you can't allow him to have a free run down to the basket. Got to make him hit some jump shots over the top of him.
He's really had his way with the Bulls guards in the past. He just takes that left hand down and comes to the hoop.
MJ, baseline fake, finds Randy Brown. 12-4, San Antonio with the lead. Robinson backs in against Rodman, kicks it out. Turnaround jumper by Robinson. And Dennis is right there.
Dennis has played very well in these first 2 games. Has come in and given them exactly what they need, that energy, and that desire to play and get into the offensive board.
Nice pass. Luke trying to finish it off. Tim Duncan came over to help. Del Negro lost control. Sean Elliott in the lane. Comes over the back. Duncan couldn't get it. Goes out again and puts that one in.
It did look like Elliott came over the back, but just those second and third efforts that allowed him to get another score.
Phil Jackson wants a timeout. 6:39 left in the first. The Spurs lead the Bulls 14-4. Basketball skills competition for kids aged 9 to 17. For more info, call your local Park District of the Bulls at 312-455-4000. 14-4. Spurs with the lead with 6:39 left in the first. Michael turns and looks. Little rocker step. Now he'll take that jumper back to the rim, and Elliott right there.
The Bulls didn't get much movement on that coming out of the timeout. Michael taking a long jump shot right now. The Bulls are going to have to make some jump shots because this is what the San Antonio team wants you to do.
Elliott with the fake. Tries to muscle
3 seconds. It's got to be. They're the best shooting team in the league, and so far tonight at 60%, the best in this building.
The problem they had the other night was that they didn't get many shot attempts. They turned the ball over a lot against Cleveland.
Rodman with a rebound, gets it right back. Hart for 3, back to the rim, and Robinson and Duncan right there fight for it.
Offense. Beautiful move by Dennis to step out and help Randy Brown out.
Spurs have been shooting well. Duncan 62.5, same for Del Negro. Avery Johnson over 60. David Robinson. Steve Kerr comes in. Ron Harper will leave. The Bulls are going to try and counteract that double team with the open man.
Well, this is what you have. We've seen that the Bulls have been taking jump shots. It's what San Antonio is giving them. You've got the 2 shot blockers down there. Steve Kerr's in there to get in the game to maybe knock down a few jumpers. Give the Bulls that perimeter player.
Dennis will take that jumper, and it was a little long.
And they lose it.
Bulls ball. Monty Williams, former Notre Dame star, checks in. Sean Elliott will check out.
And Monty's one of those guys last year during all those injuries that San Antonio had, got a chance to play and got some confidence in his game, and was helped out by the fact that several guys missed a ton of games for the San Antonio team last year.
Luke and Randy Brown. And a holding foul, I think, on Avery Johnson. Yep.
And that's his second. So he just had the offensive foul down at the other end. They're going to put Corey Alexander in the game.
Their weakest position, Pax, we watch him just grab him as he goes by. Their weakest position, I think, is a backup shooting guard, the backup 2 guard. Benny Del Negro can knock it down, and here comes Will Perdue, and I think this is a scheduled time thing for David Robinson.
Well, I think what they're going to, right now they don't have Chuck Person on their roster. He's out for the first 5 games. When he comes back, you can slide Sean Elliott to the 2, put Person in the game at 3. Yeah, so once he comes back, they have more versatility.
Well, tonight, though, I mean, they don't.
Right, absolutely.
That's the big thing lacking here.
Monty Williams really isn't a 2 guard, doesn't have that perimeter game, but he is a guy that will play hard. Scored a little bit for him last year.
Michael got him in the air and puts it in.
And Dennis does a nice job just kind of holding up that break right away by taking the ball out of Alexander's hands for a second.
Will with the lefty jump hook. Got his own rebound and put it back in.
I remember Will destroyed us in San Antonio last year. I think it was
23 rebounds, wasn't it?
He got a ton. Yep.
Big time.
Joe Klein gets up off the bench.
Oh, good find by Michael.
Baseline Steve Kerr, and Will with the rebound. Monty Williams knocks down MJ, no call. Baseline jumper, Dennis tapped it and got it, and a holding call.
He's going to be on Duncan.
Joe Klein comes in, and Luke Longley will sit.
We talked about Bill having that bum elbow, and I think that has something to do with it. And of course, Joe might be a little more physical.
Right. There's Billy. Steve Kerr for 3.
Benny Del Negro made a mistake that time, going behind the handoff by Michael Jordan, allowing Steve Kerr to get that wide open 3.
And San Antonio wants a timeout right now. 4:04 left in the first. Spurs lead the Bulls 16-9.
Welcome back to the United Center. Now, an interesting thing about David Robinson, sometimes it's safer for him on the floor than it is on the bench. When he comes out of the game and he has to sit on the bench and relax for a while, he has to elevate his seat, and he has to put some heat on his back. So we'll have to watch that the rest of the game. Pax, you got something for us?
I want to take a look at that Steve Kerr shot when we get a chance.
Del Negro in the lane over Joe Klein hits.
Yeah, they're going to run some baseline screens for Vinny Del Negro. He's got a quick release, and he just came off there, actually curled into the lane and got the open shot.
Tony Kukoc into the ball game for the Bulls.
Now they have Vinny on it. Tony has that size advantage.
And he takes that fadeaway jumper on the top of the circle.
They scrambled their defense a little bit that time and ran off of Tony, and he took the right shot.
18-11, Spurs with the lead. Duncan with the jumper from the wing puts it in. Doesn't seem anything fancy with Duncan. It's just pretty fundamental basketball.
And he's got a great demeanor on the court. He plays hard. He goes about his business. Doesn't talk. He just plays.
Tony finds Joe Klein from 16. Big Joe couldn't get it, but Tony tapped it. Duncan right there pulls it away. Del Negro baseline jump.
And the Bulls did not find him quickly. If Tony's going to have to run back defensively, and find him. The Bulls will not talk that time, and Vinny gets the wide open jumper.
Vinny's the kind of guy, if you stop him early, he doesn't get started. You know, he doesn't get going. You let him get going that early, boy, he can really be a terror.
Tony comes right inside, hooks it up and in as he posts up Del Negro.
That's what you would expect, to use his size advantage there. We'll see if Greg Popovich does something to counter that. See, what happens too is now on the other end, Michael's guarding Vinny Del Negro. So when you run back defensively, you really have to communicate. To get cross-matched, you have to make sure that the shooter gets picked up early.
Will Perdue looks for the open man, takes the jump hook, and Dennis right there with a rebound. Here Phil Jackson saying run, run, run. He's talking to Tony. MJ baseline got fouled going to the basket.
We're going to take a look at Steve Kerr's three-pointer. Opposing coaches don't want to give Steve Kerr too many wide open looks. You see Vinny Del Negro go behind two players, Michael Jordan and his own man, and can't recover. And that's a mistake, and Greg Popovich called a timeout right after that.
That stat says he's pretty good at that.
And I think he's 3 for 3 on the year now.
Wow. That's it.
MJ fadeaway jumper, and Duncan there for the rebound. Lob pass inside. Will Perdue runs the floor very well and gets a quick pair.
This team is going to get some easy scores this year, and it's really going to help them out because they had a tough time putting the ball in the basket last year.
Looks like we saw a little bit with Boston. The big guys run the floor that well as Tony goes in and lays it in.
Vinny's got his hands full here, and Vinny and Tony played together over in Europe for a year. They know each other very well.
Will Perdue inside with the scoop.
His crowd being uncomfortable here.
Now, this is the type of team that the Bulls don't see very often with a lot of size and some versatility at those positions. They're going to have to kind of find their way as this game goes along, get a grasp of it.
Tony way off with that one. As Sean Elliott gets set to check back in.
Ooh, boy, lights out, huh?
Tony gave him a lot of ground. You do want to make this guy make some jump shots over the top of you. But you can't let him just line it up and knock it in.
Steve Kerr running one-hander, won't fall, and Tim Duncan with a rebound. Both struggling here as we come down to the end of the first period.
This team really looks good, don't they, this early in the season?
Duncan drives baseline and a blocking foul called on Dennis Rodman.
I think if Dennis had just got a half a step more to the baseline, he would have been able to draw that foul.
Del Negro comes out.
And see, this is the ability that both Duncan and Robinson have. In fact, they can face you up and put the ball on the floor. Look at that left knee sticking out, what caught Duncan and caused the foul on Dennis there.
On Saturday, November 8th, when the Bulls take on the Nets, it's BTI America's pen set. First 10,000 fans in the United Center will receive a Bulls pen set. Compliments of BTI Americas. Judd Bushler comes in. Joe Klein trots out. Phil hollering at Tony Kukoc to make sure he blocks out the shooter. Shot clock's off. That's what's left in the first period. Spurs have all but doubled the Bulls here.
Well, the Bulls have had problems. 3 of their starters have not scored.
Double team. Steve Kerr for 3. Back of the rim. Duncan right there.
I'm amazed that Corey Alexander ran off of Steve Kerr.
We played one period here at the United Center, and the Spurs lead the Bulls 29-15. Well, here what you see with the Bulls is first quarter scoring. They've done pretty well. 29.5 points a game coming into this, holding their opponents down. Tonight, 29 for the Spurs, and the Bulls just 15. They turned it right around. Hey, we're back here Wednesday night. Penny Hardaway and Horace Grant, former Bull, will be here. 6:30 for the game room, and tip off 7 o'clock Wednesday night. The Bulls and the Orlando Magic here on Sports Channel.
Here they are just fighting on the boards. Getting the outlet pass. This is what San Antonio wants to do. Throw the ball ahead. And Will Perdue running the floor very well. Lack of communication by the Bulls getting back defensively.
Well, somebody would say nice job. They only gave up, but the Bulls only gave up 3 offensive rebounds in the quarter. But when you shoot 62%, not many left, is there?
Now, points in the paint tell the story in that first quarter. San Antonio had 16, the Bulls just 4.
Steve Kerr, off-balance jumper, wouldn't fall. Monty Williams high for the rebound. Sean Elliott goes down. David Robinson is back with Alexander. Carl Herrera, who's played very well for these guys in a couple stints in the early part of the season. Robinson with a turnaround soft jumper.
Well, they have some depth now. These guys like Herrera and Will at times. Corey Alexander, they started for them last year because of all the injuries. They got experience. Now they're coming off the bench. It's going to make their unit even better.
Hart goes in the corner for Judd Bushler, long deuce, and that won't fall. But Steve Kerr's there for the rebound. Gets it back. Judd had to step back a little and hit the 3. 31-18 now, Spurs with the lead. And Judd with the steal.
I don't know if people remember Kerr hitting that last shot, but how about in the third? Dennis with a 3. No, 2. But how about Jelly hitting that 3 to really turn it on for the Bulls in that game 6?
Spurs switch side as Herrera comes over to set the screen. And shot call.
Elliott having a tough time getting started here.
Another guy coming off of an injury and doesn't look like he's found his timing just yet. Hasn't shot the ball particularly well. Really hasn't gotten that many shot attempts up.
But a lot of guys don't get the same chance to play with the same team. They traded him away. And Popovich traded back for him again.
Bushler with it, finds Joe Klein down low. 8 on the shot clock. Hart tries to go around. Hangs, finds Bushler. Nice ball movement on top. Steve Kerr for 3.
So back-to-back threes now. Steve perfect this year. 4 for 4 from there.
Spurs lead it by 10 a couple minutes into the second quarter. Elliott with a jump hook and then bounces in.
There's that ability of Robinson from the top of the floor being able to make the play, hitting and cutting Sean Elliott at the basket.
Kerr looks inside, finds Judd Bushler, and a foul called in there.
Herrera, I believe, got him down there.
That last possession by the Bulls. Good ball movement. The penetration by Ron Harper forces the defense to collapse. Judd Bushler sees the rotations, finds his buddy and good three-point shooter Steve Kerr out on the perimeter. That was with the shot clock winding down.
Bulls 3 of 6, Spurs 0 of 1 from long range.
And as Johnny mentioned, this San Antonio team really doesn't have that three-point threat right now on the floor.
Shot clock at 9. Steve Kerr, tough jumper back to the rim. Judd Bushler knocked it loose, and Dennis Rodman came up with it.
Dudley's got to look at that hoop now. He's getting some open looks.
And good ball movement by the Bulls. They're skiing just a little bit.
They do.
Shot clock at 5 and 4. Kicks it out. Hart. Shot clock at 2 and 1 for 3. Back of the rim, and Avery Johnson right there. 19-9, the rebound story. The Spurs just murdering the Bulls. Robinson goes in to post up. Joe Klein called for the foul. On Wednesday, November 12th, when the Bulls take on the Washington Wizards, it's Sterling Plumbing Group Travel Mug Night. First 10,000 fans in the United Center will receive a Bulls travel mug, compliments of Sterling Plumbing Group. The Admiral at the free throw line, and Eric Collins on the baseline.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. We all know how hard Dennis Rodman works before every game in the weight room. Well, David Robinson may have to match him. Before the game, for about a half hour, he was pumping iron. He was working the medicine ball. He's doing anything to get his back nice and loose. And looks like it's paying off in the court. Guys, back to you.
And after surgery, and guys, we can all talk about this, how tough it is to come back. And once you get loose, it can be hard to stay loose once you come off the floor.
And that's after you've had a back, especially.
Hart with a nice move inside. He gets into the scoring column for the first time.
I'd like to run this back screen for Vinny Del Negro, then bring him back out. Harp chasing him.
Del Negro bounces inside for Carl Herrera, who puts it in.
You know, Vinny Del Negro has played some point guard in this league, so he knows how to get into the lane and make the play. And that time, with the defense trailing and then the big guy having to step up, it left Herrera alone at the basket, and Vinny Del Negro makes the very good pass.
Joe Klein from 17.
And that's what a guy like Joe can do. Step in that gap. If Robinson falls down to the basket, take that open jumper.
Joe Klein will be called for the foul. Those are some serious shoulders and arms on him.
Yeah, it's not usually left to the referee's decision whether he got him. Usually pretty clean cut when Joe does.
Clear cut. Pushed it. Great defense.
Judd's come in and given him some active legs and really has done a nice job. And even though the Bulls are down by 12, they're playing pretty well right now with Judd on the floor.
Joe Klein with the left hand bounces it in. So the bench has come in and done some good. Steve Kerr, Judd Bushler, and Joe Klein all contributed. 37-27, Spurs with the lead. Robinson looks, makes the move, and hits the jumper.
And especially against a guy like Joe, Robinson likes that mid-post area. He doesn't stay with his back to the basket. He faces up, and then he forces you to come out and play him, put the ball on the floor, or he takes that shot over the top at the end. He shoots it well.
Steve Kerr posting up with Avery Johnson on him. Klein, jump hook, wouldn't go. Dennis tapped it, wouldn't stay down. Dennis comes out of there with it, and the Bulls are reset. And the crowd absolutely loves it.
Oh, that's great. That's a great pass right there. Steve Kerr lost his man as he set a down screen and just stepped back behind it. That's good recognition by the Bulls offensively.
Bench has really done a nice job here in the second quarter.
The ball has not stopped with the bench. They've really gone for the open man, and boy, he's pulled the trigger on it.
Robinson goes baseline, and Steve Kerr is right there. Bulls 3 on 4, slow it down. Here comes Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Joe and Dennis look a little tired right now. They were having a tough time getting back, and Phil takes the time.
5:55 left first half. The Spurs lead the Bulls by 10. It's time for our Discover card. Payback, playback. Bulls acquired Star Center Artist Gilmore. 1976 for $1 million in the ABA Dispersal Draft. Artist went on to lead the Bulls in scoring, rebounding, and field goal percentage for the 76-77 Bulls. He was a force inside. 39-29 Spurs with the lead. Michael Jordan back in for the Bulls, along with Luke Longley, Judd Bushler, Steve Kerr, and Dennis Rodman. Dennis Duncan comes back, or Tim Duncan comes back. David Robinson, Vinny Del Negro, Avery Johnson. Is that Sean Elliott behind Luke Longley? I can't see. Yep, it is.
So he has his starting 5 back on the floor.
Kerr in the lane.
See, and that's what Tim Duncan will do. Steve had a shot, but Duncan's presence there made him make the pass outside.
MJ, fadeaway jumper. Had to take that shot. Clock was winding down. Elliott. Jump.
Travel again, yes. It's his second travel. He's turned it over. Judd took it out of his hands one time. Popovich said that was a fake. Well, it made a fake Popovich job, but it didn't fake the official that called.
Bulls taking good care of the ball. San Antonio with 8 turnovers. Bulls dug themselves into a hole early in the first quarter and are trying to dig themselves back out now. MJ with a post up. Kerr finds Bushler, juggling for 3.
Yeah, he might have been near that line, but he and Kerr have each got a couple threes in this game now.
6 points and 2 assists for Bushy, and it's 39-32 Spurs. Robinson steps out. Longley on him. Bulls good rotation as Steve Kerr came over to help out. Del Negro finds Avery Johnson.
That's the one you have to make Avery prove he can make. On that penetration, Michael came to help out on Del Negro. The Bulls come up with the defensive rebound, have a chance now to cut this thing down to 5.
Luke fakes, comes back, had it blocked away, out of bounds. It'll be Bulls ball. On Wednesday, November 5th, when the Bulls take on the Orlando Magic, it's Sony CD carrying case night. First 10,000 fans in the United Center will receive a Bulls CD carrying case, compliments of Sony. MJ drives, stops, fires, hits the top of the backboard. Dennis Rodman fights for it, gets it, tries to find Judd Bushler, and does. Great hustle inside by
Dennis has to get out of the lane.
Yeah. See what they call.
There are 8 seconds on the clock, and the question is, did that shot hit the rim?
I don't know if it did.
I know this.
No, he says their wall said it didn't
hit the side of the board.
Let's see what happens.
Hits the side of the board.
No rim. So there should be a violation, but they reset the clock. The officials whistle.
Would it be down to 2 on the shot clock, or would it be over?
I think it would be over, but
there was 8 when the Bulls took the ball out of bounds on the baseline.
Dennis with 9 rebounds this evening.
Well, they may take one away from him. I don't know. They got that last one scratching.
Stedman Graham is here, and just to his left, there he is. Gene Sisco was here. I knew Gene was here. I saw him.
Well, they turn it over here. Yeah, I'd like to wish my buddy Nick Kalatis good luck with his surgery. He's in St. Louis tomorrow. Nick will be cheering for you, kid.
Jim Thompson, former governor, enjoying the game.
Just your basic attorney out for an evening with the Bulls.
Monty tried to check in. They say he cannot come in.
So the Bulls have pulled back here to 7. They've done a nice job. Dennis's introduction to the lineup, and Steve Kerr and Bushy have really added to this.
Steve Kerr with 8, Judd Bushler with 6, Tony Kukoc with 6. Benches really made a difference.
They've been very aggressive offensively, looking for their shots. And we talk about how they struggle with that perimeter game early in the game. Steve and Judd have done a good job in remedying that.
Avery Johnson goes to the basket and lays it in. 41-32, Spurs with the lead. Offensive foul called against the Bulls. He's looking at Judd Bushler.
Judley.
That's the call. Now Monty Williams comes in, and Sean Elliott will leave, and the Spurs want a timeout. 3:55 left first half. The Spurs lead at 41-32.
Back to the United Center. Now the point guard for the San Antonio Spurs is Avery Johnson. He's 5'11". He says all his life he's been called a small fry. Now there's actually a good reason for that. Every game, 3.5 hours before every game, he eats a baked potato with butter, nothing else, and some Sprite. He's done that every single game he's been in the NBA. He says it's a good luck charm. Big potato freak. Did you know that? Guys, back to the table.
Yeah, the name Spud has been taken already, though. Avery Johnson, nice job. Take a look at this. Tim Duncan on a big screen here. He's got the ball. He's going to give it to his guard, and he follows him right to the hoop. If this is a miss, into your screen, Duncan came running right there, but a nice screen set by Duncan.
Yeah, that's probably Luke's responsibility to step into that lane after Duncan gives him the ball. Steve Kerr hung up on the screen. They stop that penetration, keep him from the easy layup.
Yeah, you can't give somebody an easy straight road to the basket no matter how good the guy you're guarding is. In this case, it's David Robinson. You want him to stop, but if the guy's got a layup, knocked away. Shot clock at 7, at 6, at 5. Avery Johnson trying baseline double pumps, comes up short. MJ right there. Starters from the field 4 of 20, bench 10 of 22.
That's right, after 32 points that the Bulls have scored, 24 have come from the bench.
MJ trying to run down and slow down Vinny Del Negro. And Del Negro just followed his shot and picked up the rebound. And coaches tell the kids in grade school and high school, follow your shot.
It's a little bit different, Tommy, in the pro. The assignment is a little different. You're supposed to, depending on who shoots it, where it comes from, you're supposed to take off for the easy fast break. I'm like you, if we go to school, I think the man shoots the ball, you make sure he doesn't get it back.
43-32, Spurs with the lead. Did someone play a while ago? Is that what you said? MJ, as Monty just came over the back, and Michael looked over at the official and said he got me in the arm.
No, the block right here.
And there's the block call. Monty Williams called for the block.
They're working Michael pretty hard here. And
Yeah.
Monty Williams slides. Just 2 of 9 to this point. They've thrown a few different players on Michael. Monty Williams has that size and is a physical player.
MJ drawing defenders, finds Tony, baseline jumper. Avery Johnson pulls it down. 43-32, Spurs with the lead.
Now you need somebody to hit that shot when beautiful play.
Now we've seen several times here in the first half where the Bulls have not matched up well coming back in transition defense. Monty Williams just ran the left side of the floor. Avery Johnson made a terrific pass across here. He sees him, holds up, and there's that little bounce pass. Defense, Luke Longley doesn't seal the backboard and gets there too late.
Michael gets his double team down here, and he does flip it out. You're going to have to have some guys stand up there.
He's making the right play because the Spurs are rotating to the first player closest to Michael. Last time it was Steve Kerr. Tony was open across the floor. Made the right pass.
Quick pass inside to Tony, gets it right back to Dennis. Luke Longley, baseline jumper. Pretty strong. Tony right there with a hook. Rebound tap. Dennis keeps it alive. That one wouldn't fall. Here comes Avery Johnson. Vinny Del Negro from the right side missed it. Rebound. And Dennis Rodman comes down with it. Falls down.
Oh boy, you hope they didn't get hurt there. He did that splits like Brown did. Got hurt. He seems to be all right.
Bill Jackson wanted a foul call. The official did not blow the whistle that way. Coming up on our Chevrolet halftime report. Norm and Chet will have Hornets and Heat highlights plus first half highlights from this one.
Well, they brought Dennis back to rebound.
Right.
He got 9 in game 13 and 10 so far here this evening. He's doing his job.
Duncan gets it down low.
Could be a flop.
Got caught down there. Shot clock at 2, at 1. Del Negro had to fire one up. And Dennis Rodman with rebound number 12. Out to Steve Kerr. There's the rebounds. Bulls crawling back inside. Luke gets it slammed. Will they count it?
Yeah, they count it.
But you know what? And that was set up because Tony Kukoc ran the floor hard, even though they're not going to give him the basket.
Wow, he said good.
I think he was saying one shot.
He went down with his hand. Good. He indicated a good basket.
Well, Tony ran the floor hard, forced David Robinson to go out and play him, and allowed Luke to have Vinny Del Negro on his back. Too bad the Bulls didn't get a hoop out of that.
Absolutely.
MJ spins, quadruple team. Luke goes in. This time he got it, and he's fouled.
Michaels is creating a lot of opportunities here. The guy's got to be ready for it, whether he's getting it to the open shooter or rolling the big guy down the middle.
Now, Michael had his opportunity to throw it to several people that time. That's just a nice little dish to Luke in the lane. And a good finish.
Yes.
But they're running off everybody right now. And a guy like Steve Kerr, who's out there on the floor,
I'll tell you,
keep your eyes open for him as well.
Luke is really at his free throw shooting there.
And for a guy who's always been very good at the free throw line.
I always thought Luke was in the 78, 80%.
That's a charge.
Great play. Oh,
Dennis beat him to the spot that time.
That time it looked like Dennis had the I thought he might do something on that last play, but right here he takes a good position.
That's a charge. He lowers his shoulder, out of control. And what we're seeing from San Antonio a lot is this 3 perimeter players out and the 2 big guys down low, and they're just pounding it inside and forcing the Bulls to defend it.
You know, when I give you a number like 14 official, that's a pretty high number. You got to live up to that number.
Carl Herrera comes in.
Again, Dennis stepped out in front of Herrera. He knows he doesn't put the ball on the floor real good.
And the offensive foul called on Carl Herrera.
I'm not sure where he was going that time.
Yeah.
I'm sure they wanted to get a quick 2-for-1, but they're not going to get that with Carl Herrera putting it on the floor. But Dennis was going to stick his chest in there again and try to draw it. That could have been called a foul, but they did turn it over anyway.
45-34, Spurs with the lead. Michael comes right down and gets fouled. Monty Williams called for the foul, and MJ will go to the line for a pair. Spurs are over the limit.
Well, they jumped off that nice lead, and the Bulls haven't been able to put a dent in. Now this time they'll have a chance. Michael will have a chance to put them back in single digits here. He's been very quiet tonight.
This is the second and third attempts from the free throw line in the entire game for the Bulls, and we've seen what has happened in Boston against the 76ers. Michael, 21 attempts that first night, just 2, although he was in foul trouble and played just 24 minutes in the game against Philadelphia.
Dennis right back in here for a defensive switch.
MJ splits him. 45-35. Bulls come out with some pressure.
And to pressure this group, they don't have Avery Johnson on the floor.
Elliott gives it back. Shot clock at 15, so about 6+ seconds differential. Shot clock and game clock. Monty Williams finds Robinson. There's the shot clock, lower left. Robinson baseline jumper. MJ right there. 7 seconds left in the half.
Oh, beautiful find.
4-3 short. Rebound tapped out. Corey Alexander's got to hurry. He didn't get it off in time. We have played one half of basketball here at the United Center. The San Antonio Spurs get off to a good start. They lead the Bulls 45-35. Now let's go back to our studio one more time. Here's Chet Compton.
If you don't have those offensive rebounds, you're shooting really poorly.
Right, the offensive rebounds, and the Bulls turned the ball over only 4 times, so those two combined allowed the Bulls to get 50 shots. They took 15 more shots than the Spurs. So actually, as poorly as they shot the ball and played, they're only down 10, and on your home floor, you expect to play better here in the second half.
And we are at the United Center here in Chicago as the Bulls take on the San Antonio Spurs.
Same starters, huh?
Randy Brown comes around the screen. Bulls with good ball movement. MJ baseline finds Jason Caffey, and the shot is fouled. As soon as you hear that whistle, right?
That's the anticipation that the shot blocker is behind you. You've got to go in with that.
Well, you know, and they blocked 1 shot in the first half, San Antonio, but they were present. But sometimes you have to take it right at them and say, okay, let's see what you got. We're gonna be stronger going to the basket, and maybe draw some fouls in the process.
Yeah, that was a
great pass to MJ inside.
You know, that was Avery Johnson's third, so he gets himself in some foul trouble there. They could be hurting a little bit. But I'd rather see their big guys get in foul trouble.
Robinson, as Duncan posted up, and a reach-in foul will be called on Randy Brown. Oh, Ron Harper got it. Okay.
Here's a nice move. Look at Luke looking for Michael. He cuts around Elliott. Elliott a little late getting there, and Michael just cleans it up.
This time Robinson steps out. Got cut off, and a foul call. Luke picks up his second. Here Phil barking at the officials. Del Negro brings it to the wing. Duncan up high for the screen. Robinson picked up his dribble. Missed it. Duncan right there for the rebound. Missed that. Got it again inside. Kicks it out. Now reset.
And Jason just let him go right over the top of him twice there.
He had 8 rebounds that first half. Now he picks up 2. He's got 10 sitting here, but they're going to have a little foul on David Robinson.
Just his first personal foul.
The Bulls can continue whacking away here.
Start with a 2-guard front.
They've been slow and giving Dennis some minutes here. 24 is playing, and
Randy Brown followed his shot. Now kicks it out, and the Bulls will restart.
But Dennis had 21 minutes in that first half.
MJ steps out. Now takes the long range deuce and hits from the right side. Michael with 9 points. He's also got 2 rebounds and 3 assists. Robinson spins, fakes, puts it up and in.
No look, half hook.
It was a tough shot because actually Luke did a nice job of using his body and keeping him from getting right to the rim. And Michael coming out real aggressively looking for a shot. He got pushed there.
Johnson glides up and they throw it away. They thought Vinny Del Negro would be standing right there.
Well, Vinny ran the same side as Sean Elliott, and then Vinny cut down, and they thought he was going to be open, but he had his back to him, and it's a turnover.
11-4 the turnovers. Again, you're surprised that the Bulls are as close as they are, based on the shooting percentage, based on the rebounds, the turnovers, 3-pointers.
They were a little slow getting that ball to Michael that time.
And Michael's right now making cuts off the basketball into open areas, and he's got Sean Elliott guessing what's going on. It looks like Greg Popovich is going to put Monty Williams in the game because Sean Elliott's just not getting it done defensively right now.
Elliott.
Michael.
MJ takes it away.
What a play. He's had his way with Elliott so far.
It's a 6-point Spurs lead. Michael fakes the 3, doesn't take it. Randy Brown, baseline high. Harper short.
Took a little time to get that one off and allowed Avery Johnson to get a piece of the basketball.
Johnson goes right down the lane, had it knocked away. He walked. MJ just took it away. Did you see the hands continue to go? Out of bounds, Bulls ball. Michael was just pawing at that ball. Finally knocked it away.
But he just stole the ball from Sean Elliott. Now Robinson puts it down, loses it on his hip, and watch the hands go after. You're right. Just keep going, and they just touch it out of bounds. Another turnover, so the Bulls got to take advantage of this now. Close it to 5.
Number 1 among active players. MJ on top with Williams on him now.
He sees that clock is green.
Del Negro, he did lose it. Jason Campy can go in very strong and got fouled by Tim Duncan. Vinny Del Negro is down holding his right ankle.
That might have been a little contact on that steal here.
Well, it does 2 things. They don't get the call here. As Jason Caffey.
You saw it turn there. Yep. Ouch.
And then as the Bulls get the ball back,
Vinny limps off.
Tim Duncan gets his 3rd foul.
Yeah. And we were talking about not having a good backup 2 shooter in today's game, and now Vinny hurt. This is what we were referring to.
Jaren Jackson, 7th year out of Georgetown.
Wasn't he in camp with the Bulls?
Absolutely. And Jaren's a tough kid. He plays real hard, a good defender. And actually the other night when the Spurs beat Cleveland, Greg Popovich had a lineup in with only Vinny Del Negro as the only starter, and he had guys like Jaren Jackson, Monty Williams, Malik Rose in the game when they were down by 6 and offense wasn't playing well. And these guys gave him a lot of energy. So
well, Jaren Jackson played with Washington last year. He defended Michael quite a bit.
He plays hard. That's his reputation as a defender. But he's not a perimeter player, not the shooter that Vinny Del Negro is. The Bulls should be able to pack it in. You could have your options on double teaming Duncan and Robinson right now.
Jason knocked it away, but stepped on the end line with 7 on the shot clock. It'll belong to the Spurs. Good defensive play by Jason Caffey. San Antonio holds on to the ball.
Well, Michael's come out here in the second half and set the tone with his energy. He's been very aggressive on both ends, gotten his hands on a lot of balls defensively, and realizing this team played poorly in the first half.
Jackson with a bad shot. Robinson over the back.
Yeah, that should be.
He will.
It's hard to tell when you're going to get that foul called on you, but that time it was pretty obvious.
You see that look in MJ's eyes as he gets the ball. He's talking to his teammates.
That must have been a long halftime for him.
Yeah.
Knowing that his team is down at home and he really wants to get out there chopping at the bit.
Spurs in what almost looked like a zone defense. MJ on top. Rocker step. Stops, fades, fires, back of the rim. Jason Caffey had it, lost it. Tim Duncan was right there. It's a 5-point Spurs lead with 7:18 left in the 3rd. David Robinson with the jumper. And MJ just steps right in. Caffey did a nice job of blocking off Tim Duncan, and Michael came in and get the rebound.
Yeah, if you're not going to get that ball, you better make sure that their big rookie doesn't get it.
Duncan inside, put it up, and a foul on Jason Cappy. We got a timeout on the floor. 6:54 left in the third. The Spurs lead over the Bulls is down to 5. His hottest youth competition is back again. McDonald's NBA 2-ball, brought to you by Dominic's, is a two-person basketball skills competition for kids aged 9 to 17. For more info, call your local park district of the Bulls at 312-455-4000. And on Saturday, November 8th, when the Bulls take on the Nets, it's BTI America's Pen Set. First 10,000 fans in the United Center will receive a Bulls Pen Set, compliments of BTI America's.
Well, you know, they shot 57% in that first half, and now they're 1 for 6, only 16%. So the Bulls have put some pretty good defense on here, and they've closed this gap a little bit.
Will Perdue back in the lineup.
And let me jog everybody's memory. We remember the trade. Will Perdue for
Dennis Rodman. There's Vinny Del Negro leaving the floor, being taken back to the locker room. MJ, rocker step. Oh!
Hey, no stopping that one.
He's been taking some tough jumpers over Monty Williams. They set a screen and roll that time. He went away from the screen, and the defensive rotation was late. And there's a poor pass. It's just not the right entry or angle to get that entry pass in there. And another turnover, so the Bulls defense has picked it up. Forced some turnovers here.
Eric Collins, what's up?
Yeah, here's the latest on Vinny Del Negro. He's done for the night. That was pretty obvious when they took off his shoe and iced him up. He's got a severely sprained right ankle. They're checking him out some more in the locker room. Guys, back to you.
MJ with it on the wing. Spin move against Monty. Got him in the air. Puts it up.
Oh, off the ring.
He'll go to the line for a pair. He is so much fun to watch when he gets in his zone like this, guys, isn't he?
Amazing he even got that up, gave that ball a chance to go in. But we saw him do that in the first half to Monty Williams. Give him an up fake, and Monty jumps at those. Yeah, he's so intent on keeping Michael from getting easy scores that he's going after every shot.
Well, that's a little bit of the New York, I think, hammering into him. But that last play, Michael went around him. He gave him just that quick move and just exploded over everybody. I think Tim Duncan got a chance to see the bottom of those Air Jordans.
Like a lot of guys in the league. Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. We're going to miss Craig Elo, huh?
48-46. It's a two-point game, and it can be tied right there.
Hey, hey, hey.
San Antonio needs a timeout, and they take it. 6:05 left in the third. They're on their feet at the United Center. The Bulls are tied with San Antonio.
The Bulls have turned up the defensive pressure in the second half. After the free throw, the trap, Michael gets a piece of the ball, and Jason bats it back to him. And a quick jumper in the lane.
48 all here as the Bulls are tied. And a foul call. Jason Cappy called for the personal foul as Jaren Jackson drove in. You saw the Michael Jordan dunk a second ago. We know this is now a global game. Here's how this sounded in Japanese as Japanese TV is here.
And
I agree with everything that guy said. Tim Duncan with the jump hook puts it in.
Well, with this lineup that San Antonio has on these post passes, without a perimeter player like Del Negro in the game or Elliott, they should be able to pack it in.
Bulls are maybe starting to just watch Michael a little bit.
Right now, the Spurs, recognizing Michael's really got it going, they're running off double and triple team.
Yeah, Luke couldn't get it. Ron Harper inside, fought for it.
And Duncan got a piece of that shot.
Jackson pushes it up, stops from 18, way off, but Will Perdue right there for the rebound. Duncan. Oh, Harper just took it away. Now goes behind the back. Randy Brown on the other side. Harp comes up short, but he'll go to the line for a pair.
Oh, Harp with a great play. Comes off that weak side. We'll take a look at. There goes Duncan in for the shot. He beats Luke, but Harp comes, wipes it out, goes behind his back. He beats Williams going down the floor. Here's another look at it. Harp with a beautiful move, takes it on down, in, and gets fouled and shoot 2 free throws.
Tony Kukoc ready to check in for the Bulls. Fred, show me that Harp steal one more time.
All right. Comes out of nowhere. Beautiful play. That's a beautiful play on top of that.
Tony comes in. Jason Caffey leaves. Spurs lead it by a pair. Hart makes it down to 1. 50-49. San Antonio with the lead over the Bulls.
That's the only second point in this quarter that's scored by somebody outside of Michael.
Johnson comes right down the lane and throws it in.
He set that high screen and roll and never got him under control. And Avery Johnson best when he's going to his left hand.
Good points this period. There's what Johnny was just talking about. Michael has outscored the Spurs. Luke maybe tried to force that one a little bit out of Bulls ball.
Got 8 on the clock.
Now the officials are talking. It may be San Antonio ball. It is Spurs ball. On Wednesday, November 12th, the Bulls take on the Washington Wizards at Sterling Plumbing Group's Travel Mug Night. The first 10,000 fans in the United Center will receive a Bulls travel mug, compliments of Sterling Plumbing Group. The two officials came over to Hugh Hollins and said, no, it should be the other way. They both agreed. He changed his call. Knocked away.
That's 2 shots in a row now that Duncan's got blocked.
David Robinson and Sean Elliott set to check in for the Spurs. MJ right wing. Little fake, now backs it off. Michael goes baseline in traffic.
Come on, man. That didn't touch any board at all. You'd think the only way he could get it up was hitting it off the board. You're right, Pax. We were talking at halftime. Michael's going to come out here really wanting to put a show on.
Williams
not put a show on as much as, you know, get his team back into where they should be.
Fired up and get moving.
Yes.
Ball knocked loose, and Luke Longley will pick up the foul. Now Sean Elliott comes in as Monty Williams will leave.
Oh, what Phil is saying here, they're banging each other to death, and here's a little reach foul, and you're in the penalty. Why put a guy to the free throw line? Let him fight it out there.
Dennis Rodman will check back in. Duncan missed that. Saturday night, Chris Chelios and the Hawks head east to take on the New York Islanders. Face off at 6, right here on Sports Channel.
Dennis Rodman had 12 rebounds in that first half. Comes in for Harp.
But yeah, now Phil goes big, and now it's going to force a difficult matchup for San Antonio. Jaren Jackson's either going to have to play Michael Jordan or Tony Kukoc. Looks like he's going to be on Tony. Tony has the size advantage, and we've talked about often. Now they switch it up.
And MJ goes right down to post up. Michael turns and faces Sean Elliott over the double team. MJ baseline jumper. Rebound tap out of bounds. I think it was kicked out. Yep, it'll be San Antonio ball. Here comes David Robinson now.
That was a tough shot by Michael wheeling to the baseline. They were running a double team at him, so Randy Brown was the open guy. He's got to fill in behind Michael, let him know that he's available.
Tim Duncan comes out, so Will Perdue and David Robinson stay on the floor at the same time. Robinson takes one dribble, gives it back to Avery Johnson. Throws one up. Probably thought he was going to get a foul called, and now Randy Brown will get the foul called. No, Dennis Rodman gets the foul.
You're right. I thought it was Randy Brown, too. Both of them went in. The shot went up with the left hand here by Avery, and then it was missed. It came out, and Randy Brown is the one. I mean, Derek Stafford's got a little problem out there, missing the call.
Dennis standing right next to Stafford. Derek smiling. Dennis smiling. Those aren't usually pleasant smiles, so are they, Coach? You can smile, but not really mean it. Will bangs the second one home. 54-51 Spurs with the lead, coming up on 3 minutes left in the third. MJ pops out. Double team, Randy Brown right into David Robinson, and Robinson held his ground. Randy Brown hollering. Now a loose ball goes out of bounds, and it'll belong to the Spurs. Randy hollering at Hugh Hollins. He might have been able to get the ball.
Well, but they ran right off of Randy again, and his cut took him right into the defense, and that's a tough position to put yourself in where you run right into David Robinson. He can stop at that free throw line. He'll be open, and he can take that shot.
This is where you might like to have big Wilbur.
On top, Sean Elliott for three. Too strong. And Dennis right there for the rebound.
Now they need a perimeter player out there, and Elliott has struggled with his shot. But again, we mentioned it without Vinny Del Negro. They really don't have that strength right now from outside.
Luke and
Oh, that was inside. That's absolutely inside that. Well, I don't know. We'll take a look at it. Maybe I'm wrong from out here, but it sure looked like it. Now there he is. Oh, he is outside that line. Good call. If he had the position, that's the good call. He was outside the line.
there's a rule change. Charging foul will not be called within a half circle. It's a 4-foot radius from the center of the basket. You see if there are two circles. See the lower one down there on the left side of your screen. That's the circle that we're talking about. The dotted line there. Blue called for a kick. Back to his old soccer day in Australia.
I was starting to mention that they could have used Bill Wennington in situations where now he floats to that baseline and brings David Robinson out, and he's not in that middle for the drive.
Well, Joe Klein did a nice job of that in the first half, kind of finding those open gaps and knocking down a few shots.
Steve Kerr comes back. Randy Brown angrily leaves.
Now, if they're going to make this commitment on Michael defensively, then with Steve Kerr in the game, he's going to get some shot opportunities.
David Robinson got it partially blocked by Luke.
And he's not running back, so the Bulls can run him down the floor. There's Luke.
And fouled hard by Will Perdue. And then Will goes over to talk to the official, Scott Wall.
Michael told him. Michael signaled to Luke, run, because he knew Robinson was back behind him arguing with the officials. And he said, get it in gear, Luke. There it is. And he puts it to him.
Will fouls him very hard here.
Yeah.
He went after the ball, though, and that's a good foul.
Luke hits the first. Everybody at Sports Channel would like to congratulate Jim Corno Jr. and his wife Lori on the birth of Max Benjamin Corno, November 1st. Also Jim Sr. and Carolyn, proud grandparents. Congratulations, everybody.
Well, now that's 4 free throws that the Bulls have got from somebody outside of Michael in this quarter.
Spurs had a little trouble getting it in bounds and finally do.
Dennis got a foul on him and a penalty.
Well, they're calling it because they're saying Dennis came up on David Robinson and put both hands on him. And in the backcourt, we talked about that rule where when a player is not used his dribble, you can't use your forearm. In the backcourt, you can use a forearm. It looked like he had his elbows bent. That's a tough call.
Sure is.
Dennis talking to Hugh Hollins.
And Hugh said I wasn't involved in that.
Dennis lost the rebound. Will Perdue comes down with it. Jackson for 3, way off. Robinson over the back. Ball tipped out, will belong to the Spurs.
Well, I'll tell you, that shot came from the outside. It seemed like everybody came over the top of that pile. But don't touch a guy because that's a new rule. I mean, they know that. It goes off in their brain. You know, oh, you put a hand on him. I got to call that.
Fresh shot clock. Robinson cut off by Longley. Puts the shot up. Nope. Ball saved by Dennis. Can't get it. Out of bounds. It'll belong to the Spurs.
Boy, they've had it down here for quite a while. There's the miss. Dennis just off his fingertips. He dives, tries for it.
And again, that's good defense by Luke. Using his body and staying in front of Robinson forced him into a tough shot.
He's getting the fans behind him right now with this defensive stop. See if they can hold it up.
Perdue goes over to set the screen for Robinson. Baseline runner, Corey Alexander. Will Perdue finally get the over-the-back call? They finally call it.
The fans respond. And that's in a penalty. So Alexander drives to the baseline, and Luke had to come out to pick him up. Dennis had good position along with Michael, and he was just cleaned out by Will. Dennis hasn't scored. He was pretty effective in the first 2 games. Missed 3 free throws tonight.
He's got 15 points and an assist tonight. 0 for 5 from the field for Rodman. There it is.
I gotta say, he crossed the line on the free throw to go get his rebound.
It's too bad because he had it. But that may have been part of the reason.
But Dennis fall over the free throw line anyway before the ball hits the rim, and he does it that time. That's a violation. The Bulls have done a nice job defensively, holding this team to just 10 points here in the quarter.
Spurs, though, have fallen asleep a little bit outside of MJ on offense. Now is the time they can really let it go a little bit from the outside. Let some shooters go from the outside.
Shot clock at 4 at 3. Elliott in the lane, bounces it around and in. Sean Elliott with a good strong basket for the Spurs makes it 57-53. San Antonio with the lead.
Elliott only has 2 field goals, and both of them have come on that type of move, powering into the lane with his right hand.
Dennis bounces it to Tony Kukoc. Shot clock at 11 at 10. Kukoc backs in. Purdue over to double team. Bounce past Tony. Double punch. Couldn't buy it. And Will Purdue right there for the rebound.
Trying to shoot that back with his left hand on the right side of the goal instead of going up with his right hand.
Shot clock at 15-14, so about 6.5 seconds difference. Shot clock in game clock. Robinson goes down to post up. Comes inside, puts it out. Rebound tap. Tony's got it. He's pretty good at these late quarters. Steve Kerr flying down to the other corner.
Nice.
Finds him. Steve's got to hang on. Rodman fadeaway jumper. Tony taps it. We played 3 periods here at the United Center. The San Antonio Spurs lead the Chicago Bulls 57-53.
Folks, welcome back to the United Center. Now, Chicago's a tough town. We got one of the toughest guys in town right here. Brian Cox, good old number 52. I didn't know you were a basketball fan.
Well, Ron Harper and I are kind of friends, so he told me he had a couple tickets for me to come and see it. I wanted to bring my daughter, but she ended up babysitting tonight.
Harp got you these good seats.
Oh, yeah. That's my homeboy.
All right, Brian, we got to get you some business right here. What was the mood like at Hallis Hall today? How the guys hanging in?
Well, we sucked, and after the game yesterday, we just kind of said, okay, that game's over. We can't do anything about it. Let's get prepared for next week. So it's out of our system now. We're going to enjoy our off day, and then we'll go to work, get ready for Minnesota.
Brian, thanks for talking to us. Enjoy the game. Guys, go back to the table.
Hey. Here's our Walgreens game summary. San Antonio had the great start. The Bulls have been trying to dig out of that hole ever since. They came back a little bit in the second. Great defense in the third allowed the Spurs just 12 points. It's a 4-point San Antonio lead. Field goal percentage, the Bulls have held them down. Haven't really improved very much. And the rebounds are closer. Points in the paint a little bit closer. So the Bulls getting closer, but just can't quite get over the edge. And while we were away, technical on Tony Kukoc, and you can...
He does get his right arm held down by Jaren Jackson.
Talking to Scott Wall and pointing the finger, and I think that shaking the finger cost him the tee. There it is. But the good news is Sean Elliott just missed the free throw.
Now, the Bulls had a nice chance that last possession if Tony picked the ball up and Steve Kerr was open down that left side. But he threw not a great pass, and Steve wasn't able to catch the ball and go up with a shot.
That's funny that Brian Cox described his team the same way Mike Ditka did on Saturday night.
Spurs lead it by 4. Rodman guarding Robinson, and good help by Steve Kerr to pass a little high, and the Bulls come away with the basketball.
We'll see if Greg Popovich stays with Corey Alexander for any length of time. That was a poor post pass. They're going to sink off of him anyway.
Luke kicks it out. Tony, top of the circle, jumper hit.
Sometimes you like to see Tony get a little angry on the floor, because then he gets into the game and he plays better with that emotion. You know, sometimes when he lacks that fire, he plays passively. So maybe this will set him off and he'll play aggressively.
Corey Alexander for 3, way off.
That was the same.
Gets it.
That was the same thing they did before. Only this time they made Corey show on the outside. He couldn't do it.
Bushy had a good second period for the Bulls. Tim Duncan gets set to check back in. Luke watches the cutters flash by. Then it's Rodman from 15, back of the rim, and David Robinson right there. It's a 2-point Spurs lead. Spurs wanted a traveling call. Instead, Judd Bushler right there, and he gets fouled by Jaren Jackson.
Greg Popovich is searching right now because he doesn't have perimeter shooters on the floor. See Elliott missed that wide open shot. He hasn't made a perimeter jump shot in the game. Just has 4 points. Like they have just 2 guys in double figures right now.
Yeah, he's got 2 wins, a win on the road, a win at home, and he's a little nervous right here, saying the Bulls are liable to explode on us any minute.
Steve Kerr comes around the double screen. Tony, tall 3.
Oh boy. Whew. Bulls are raining some pretty good threes too.
And the Bulls with the lead for the first time.
Jimmy Rogers pointed out after halftime that the threes were what kept him within 10 points, and Tony hits another one here.
Alexander almost lost it inside. Tim Duncan got a jump ball.
He just stepped right in front of Dennis, sealed him beautifully right at the rim.
Well, that's what we were talking about. His fundamentals are so good.
Yeah. It's not fancy. It's just good footwork and good body movement. Dennis goes in, couldn't get it. Tim Duncan with a rebound. Spurs leading by 1, just under 10 minutes remaining. Jackson. Alexander kicks it out. Sean Elliott comes inside. Baseline jumper Jackson. I don't think he's hit one of those yet. Tony fights for the rebound, and he and Tim Duncan will jump.
Here's Steve Kerr, comes off the screen, gets into the lane, draws some defenders. And then Judd Bushler again. They don't come out, close out very well on Tony, and nice rhythm jumper.
The game, the 3-point shooting. Bulls doing a great job. 5 of 10, and they will re-jump. Tony just slotted Duncan's arm out of the way on that one. Ball boy came out, clean up the floor. Now they'll do it again.
Let's do it one more time.
Bulls ball. Yep.
They say Tim Duncan tried to steal the tap.
Robinson came in as a number 7 rebounder, averaging 11 a game. He's got 9, but Duncan has got 16. Dennis with 15.
Duncan also with 13 points, 5 of 10 from the field. Spurs lead it by 1 as Tony comes off the screen behind the back for Luke. Rolls through the lane, jump hook. Dennis tapped it in. Spurs wanted goaltending. The officials do not make the call, and the Bulls have the lead back by 1. A very low-scoring affair here at the United Center.
That's important just for the Bulls.
Whoa, travel.
Yep, travel. Get some shots offensively within their offense in that third quarter. Michael, the only guy to knock down a field goal.
Bulls very quickly bring it up the floor. So what you think? Is it goaltending?
From that angle, it looks like it was just off the cylinder.
Tony rolls through. His pass deflected, and Tim Duncan pulled it away. Jackson accelerates up, and Steve Kerr fouled him before he ran over Judd Bushler.
Tony very upset. He thought he got hammered again, but you're right. Kerr picks the foul up coming down. That's the first. Team's first. Here they come, pushing it down the floor.
That is not a bad foul by Steve.
No. Jaren Jackson, and Bushy was ready to step out and take that foul also.
Just under 9 minutes left. 60-59 Bulls with the lead. Duncan looks for Purdue. Kicks it right side. Jackson still hasn't hit a shot. Has he, guys, from outside? He is 0 for 6 for the game. 8.5 remains. Luke with it down low. Quick spin inside. Had a block and a foul call.
Luke made the good play, and Will thought he had the flap on him. Watch this. Will drops as Luke comes to the middle. As he goes down, he comes in to make that layup and then gets hammered.
David Robinson comes back. Will Purdue will lead.
What, stepping over the line? What?
Dennis stepped in too early.
But, you know, if the ball goes in, what difference does it make? Any? If you get an advantage, you miss the shot, it'll make it.
You don't see that call very often in many other games in the Bulls, I will say that.
Yeah.
Robinson up high looking for Monty Williams. Antonio get hauled for the hole. Spurs first half 20 of 35. This half 5 of 25.
Well, you look at that first quarter, the Spurs had a 14-point lead. Then the Bulls have outscored them 38 to 28.
Robinson.
They're trying to enter the basketball through Tim Duncan, and took that pass away.
Oh, double! Oh, this double trouble!
Duncan has it up high. Shot clock at 7 at 6, and Judd Bushler called for the foul.
I got 3 officials out there. I'll tell you, it's that kind of a game.
He runs a nice back cut.
A back cut. Now he comes over here. He dribbles the ball twice. He picks it up, dribbles it again. Now Tony didn't slap that ball. He just dropped it.
I think Tony might have got his hand in there, Johnny.
MJ comes back. Judd Bushler will sit down. Dudley gets a high five from everybody as he sits. 61-59 Bulls with the lead in what is becoming a very physical basketball game.
Right.
Monty Williams has it on the baseline. Phil talking with Derek Stafford. Tim Duncan posts up. Duncan has it in the corner. Tries to throw it off to Tony, out of bounds with 9 on the shot clock.
And the Bulls doing a better job of getting their post players off that block, so they can't do a lot of damage.
Avery Johnson gets it right back. Elliott. MJ knocked it away, out of bounds with 2 on the shot clock and 7:36 left in the period.
Now you want to force them out now, away from the basket. You don't want to allow a back screen or something to set up a throw to the rim. We'll take that.
A good defense by the Bulls down here a couple times, forcing the ball out.
Bulls on a timeout. Timeout, Bulls. 7:34 left, and the Bulls lead San Antonio 61-59. The first 10,000 fans in the United Center will receive a Bulls CD carrying case, compliments of Sony.
The Bulls have averaged 26 turnovers in the 2 games, and tonight San Antonio has 19.
Bench points very strong for the Bulls. MJ trying to get open, now pops out. They've got him isolated on the wing. Tony comes across, and a holding foul will go. Monty Williams had a hold of his jersey.
That's what Tony would get the technical on. Didn't he? Similar play. Guy grabbed his arm under there.
Monty's got 5. Each team with 3 team fouls. MJ with Elliott right there. Johnson over to help out. On top, Tony. 4-3 off to the right. MJ right there off the glass. Couldn't get it. Rebound tap. Foul called against the Spurs. David Robinson will be called for the foul.
Even though Tony missed that shot, it was good movement of the basketball out of that double team, and it put Michael on the offensive boards, and he came up with it. So Steve Kerr moves the ball on. Tony misses it, but there's Michael to get the offensive rebound.
Yeah, you don't mind that shot as long as you got some balance with somebody near the board.
Luke with it down low, turns and looks. Dennis rolls around the screen from 16. Rodman missed it, and Monty Williams with the rebound.
The last 2 shots Dennis has missed, they've come in the offense, and he has kind of short armed him, and we've seen that he can make that 15-foot jumper.
And that'd be a great weapon. Luke tapped it. David called for the lob. Robinson inside, fakes, and he walked. Yep, he did. He walked.
That was a tough pass to get over the top, and it did get into him, but he makes the...
MJ, make the call, Michael. Yep, good call. 6.5 remain. Bulls lead the Spurs by 2 in a very low-scoring game. Michael. Double pumps, missed it. Rebound, Tim Duncan. Nope, Monty Williams was right there. Spurs with a chance to tie. Robinson has it down low. On Avery Johnson, top of the circle jumper.
And he had a big shot down the stretch against Cleveland the other night, a 16-footer with a minute to go. Well, the one thing that the Bulls have done well defensively this half that they didn't do well in the first half was allowing those easy transition baskets. They've gotten back and it forced San Antonio to try to execute their offense, resulted in poor field goal shooting.
MJ with the fadeaway. Dennis Rodman right there gets the rebound, and the Bulls will reset the offense. Luke goes down, and a pushing foul called on Tim Duncan. His fourth. Duncan 13 points, 16 rebounds.
The Bulls are going to shoot a couple free throws here now.
Hart
46 to go.
Hart comes in. Tony Kukoc will check out. (62-61). Bulls have been stuck on 61 for quite some time. Johnny, you talked about the injury to Bill Wennington a little earlier. He was out with that sore elbow.
Asked him if it was tendonitis. He thought it was a little bit of a spur.
But he's not being funny with that either, since the Spurs are 63-61 Bulls. Well, just asking. Avery Johnson comes around the screen. Bulls wanted to foul the ball on David Robinson. Sean Elliott missed it. He was fouled on that one. No, body's just being shoved and pushed and held, everything else down low. Not for the meek inside in this ball game. Robinson turns and looks. Crossover move. MJ came in trying to take it away. Elliott missed one from there a second ago. Missed another one. Monty Williams couldn't get the tap. Here comes MJ. Bulls lead it by a pair. 5:10 left. Michael. See a little of the old fire now. On top for Steve Kerr. Bulls with a quick reverse. MJ inside. Couldn't get it. And Duncan right there. Williams comes inside. Missed that badly. Dennis right there. And a foul called over the back against San Antonio. And Dennis will go to the line for a pair.
That's Duncan's fifth, but that's it. David Robinson's fourth. Comes Monty on a runaway truck. Luke goes up to make some pressure on it. Dennis on the inside grabs the rebound. Dennis with 19 rebounds. Go down to the free throw line and shoot. That's coming off the bench, folks.
Yeah. No, we knew coming into the game he was going to have to play a lot of minutes in this game, but certainly with Robinson and Duncan,
he's got 32 minutes right now. And he is finally happy. 1 for 3 from the free throw line now for Dennis as he smiles. And this Bulls crowd just eats it up. Look at this place go crazy.
Well, Michael snuck inside there and almost got the tip.
Tapped out. Dennis goes flying and gets up and taps Tim Duncan and runs back to the other end.
So, Bulls come away, 3-point lead, 4:45, and what?
Timeout. Timeout San Antonio, 4:44 left, and the Bulls have, as Johnny just said, that 3-point lead. Eric Collins will be live in the locker room, then we'll get Fox Sports News, the Hornets and the Heat. James Worthy takes a look at this game, the Spurs and the Bulls, and then a feature on how to beat the Bulls. Well, lately, not many have. It's been pretty tough. The house is going crazy. The United Center sold out again. Loves their Bulls. 4:44 left, and the Bulls lead it by 3.
This quarter, both teams have combined for 13 points, 5 out of 22.
Robinson out high. Avery Johnson goes back door and puts it in.
Well, Steve was trying to take away that swing pass. That's where someone on the weak side has to step in that along the baseline and challenge that shot.
MJ was almost back court. Steve.
And you're trying to take the ball out of Avery Johnson's hands because he's going to make the play offensively for you. At least get the ball into the right person's hands.
Rodman turns and looks, finds Michael, who pops out. He's got Luke down low to come off the screen. MJ goes the other way, finds Steve Kerr on the right side. Shot clock at 2 and 1 and 3 seconds called.
And I thought Steve got bumped when he was going to the right-hand dribble there. And I think Steve is asking, he's asking for the grab of his wrist.
Should have let it fly.
Talking to Scott Wall, which has not worked very well. There's the turnovers.
Like talking to the wall, you mean?
Opponent's points off turnovers. 1-point ball game. Duncan up high. Finds Elliott with Harper right there. Elliott spins, puts it back to Tim Duncan. Top of the circle, jumper is good.
Well, they gave Elliott a little opportunity to go one-on-one there. He spun in the lane. It was a nice recognition of the double team. That's a big hurt by the rookie.
Spurs lead it by 1 now. Luke steps out on the floor. Dennis Rodman fills in. See if the Bulls reverse it. MJ lost it. Got it to Steve Kerr. And back to Michael. Long deuce, MJ short. Whoop, right there. Fowler's not get it, but a foul called. And if that's on Monty Williams, I believe he is history. Your favorite song will play, John.
Well, you have David Robinson stepping out on Michael's shot. Luke does the smart thing. He follows the ball to the rim. Falls right in his hands, and too bad he couldn't have converted that little layup.
Yeah, that would have been a big basket in that situation. Now he leaves, and Jackson's going to come in for him. So Monty Williams did a nice job.
Vinny Del Negro hurt his ankle earlier in the game, and he is out. Chuck Person, you just saw a second ago. They say they think he's healthy enough to play, but just as a precaution, they're going to leave him out for a while. Otherwise, you know he'd be on the floor a lot in this one.
Well, he has to sit out. They put him on the injured list to start the season. He has to sit out at least 2 more games.
And then the Bulls have missed their last 8 field goal attempts.
Well, down the stretch, what we look for is they're making that commitment to Michael. As they did that last play, Luke doing the smart thing, going to the glass. Look for guys like Steve Kerr, maybe Harper gets some open jumpers.
Jackson with Steve Kerr right there. Robinson spins, kicks it out. Jackson finally hits a shot.
And he hurt his ankle. That's his first basket of the night. He looks like he's limping around.
Jackson 1 of 6 from the field as Steve Kerr has it high. Spurs lead it by 1. MJ fades to the corner with Elliott on him. Duncan came over to double team. MJ spins off the glass. Nope, and David Robinson right there for the rebound. And a loose ball foul called. I think Dennis Rodman will pick it up. He does. Dennis picks up his 5th.
They like to go to this little isolation with Robinson. They didn't last time. Bulls trying to double team off of Avery Johnson, but they allowed that weak side jump shot open. Although it was the first time that Jaren Jackson knocked one down. Looking for Robinson again.
Robinson backs in, high dribble. Steve Kerr comes to help out. Shot clock at 5 and 4.
Good
Robinson cut off by Luke. Puts up that high arcing jumper. And Luke right there for a big rebound.
A terrific job of sealing that baseline. Robinson tried to take him underneath the basket, and then the help defense by Steve Kerr forced him into a tough shot.
Well, this is like a Miami score last year.
Oh, yeah, the playoffs. Inside the
Duncan did a great job of sensing the switch that time. Jumped out in front of Luke. Luke didn't put it down.
And here's Luke on that defense. Gains some ground, uses his body well to seal him. There's the double team and the tough shot. But yeah, they run that screen and roll, and they make the commitment to double team Michael coming off. And you know that weak side defense is going to come over to help. Luke has to be aware. Maybe just catch it, go straight up with it. Get it planted down there.
Here's the PA announcer, Ray Clay, tell you there's 2 minutes left. Duncan turns with the left hand in. Beautiful.
Well, he set it up early with the move into the lane. The shot with the right hand. This time up and under, goes off the glass.
Spurs lead it by 3 now with 1:45 left. MJ across the floor, finds Harp on top of Steve. Longley gives it back to Ron Harper. Comes around the screen. 7 on the shot clock. Back to Luke. From 15. Longley hits.
Luke with 14 points. He's hit his last 8 free throws, and that's his first basket since the second quarter.
Tim Duncan with the post-up position. He hands it down low with Rodman on him. Duncan puts the ball down and looks. Spin move. Blocked by Abel. He's called. Bulls ball.
Okay, 113. Bulls down by 1.
Dennis forced him out on the floor at that time a little bit further and just made him take those couple extra dribbles, and then the spin move got him out of control.
Spurs lead it by 1. Coming up on 1 minute left. Michael on the wing. Stops. Long range jumper. MJ.
In off their ring. Duncan Wennington, 17 and 17. Points and rebounds.
Robinson turns and looks. Shot clock at 5. That soft jumper is hard to stop. 71-68. Spurs with the lead. Under a minute remains. Michael pops out. Steve Kerr curls around. Finds Kerr in the corner. Back to Michael. Shot clock at 11 at 10. Luke Longley from 15. Luke hit 2 in a row.
That's twice that the defense is scrambling at Michael. And Luke's been the open guy.
Shot clock, game clock about the same. Bulls have to foul.
That's a good guy to foul. Avery Johnson, not a great free throw shooter.
It's either Avery Johnson or
Tim Duncan would be the other guy.
Yeah. But that clock was 19 seconds plus 1. They could have just dribbled it out.
Well, Avery has not been to the free throw line yet tonight.
Bulls take a timeout after this one talked over. I guess here's Luke Longley on it.
Well, you saw Robinson cheating below the basketball in case Michael got to all the way to the rim, and Luke just filled in nicely. Was open. Michael hit it.
And Phil does take that timeout. 16.8 seconds remain. The Spurs lead the Bulls 73-70.
Came into this quarter. He was 8 for 19. He has missed all 8 of his shots in this quarter. So it'll need a big one by MJ here. He had 14 points in the third quarter, but has not scored here in the fourth quarter.
And Pax, how do you set something like this up?
Well, this is a situation where you know San Antonio is going to be guarding the three-point line. You have two timeouts left in 20. You can take something to the basket, either get a quick 2, or that may draw the...
Michael says, I'll take it. His first basket coming in this quarter.
This place is going crazy. We're going to overtime at the United Center.
Look at it. Tony takes a shot. The Bulls are 7 for 12 here. He misses it. It's kicked out to Luke Longley. Gets it to Michael. He lets it go as the buzzer goes by. Bingo! We're in overtime. Michael ties it up. 8 for 13 from three-point range for the Chicago Bulls. 0 for 5 from there. And Michael does what he does best. The red light was on, and so was the guy that wears the cape for the Chicago Bulls.
And it looked like San Antonio thought the game was over.
Yeah.
They didn't try to come up with a basketball, and it's amazing in those situations how when you're defending the three-point line that hard that you don't go and rebound on those key areas, foul line and the three-point line.
MJ taps it, tries to save it. Jackson went out of bounds.
Looks like he was trying to call timeout and remembered the new rule.
Can't do that.
Look at this scrap right here. Jaren Jackson dives, trying to call it out. He was right.
It looked like he was trying to put his hand up there.
Yeah.
Young fan over there. A couple of them are all right.
Luke was marvelous in it last
wasn't he?
quarter. 10 points and a record in overtime games. 0 wins and 2 losses. Of course, they all came in the last quarter.
Steve Kerr baseline jumper hits.
That's Steve's first shot, I believe, of the half. Right. First half, he was 3 for 9, really aggressive offensively. Didn't get those open looks. That's a big hoop to start the overtime.
MJ, good help. Caused that miss. Michael just came over and showed help, and then was able to get back if he needed to, and Avery Johnson was caught in the middle and forced up the shot.
You're right. The hesitation, Tommy. He wanted to pass it and he wanted to shoot it, and he was right in the middle.
Luke steps way out on the floor. Bulls back screen. Luke is open for a second. Shot clock at 4. At 3. He can do it again.
Oh, yes! Michael with 24.
77-73. Bulls with the lead. Now Robinson on that side. Duncan gets it down low and slams.
That's twice in this game, in this half, that he is dunked right in front of Dennis. Off the ball, Dennis has to be aware that he gets away on the weak side. On that pass to the top with Robinson, he's going to look inside to Duncan.
Hart. On top for Luke. They'll start to swing it inside. That was the pass they were looking for a minute ago. Well, we got the last basket from Michael. We told you the Japanese were here. Let's hear them call that bucket.
Mike hit it. Mike hit it. Mike hit it.
And again, I agree. I absolutely agree with everything he says. Oh, in and out. 77-75. Bulls with the lead. 3:20 remaining. Avery Jackson down low, and a foul called as he was going to the basket.
Good run.
Luke stiff. Avery with the move down to Jaren Jackson, and Luke steps out, takes that foul, and shed his fifth. 18 rebounds for Duncan, 19 points. He's got the only basket for them in this quarter. This overtime quarter.
Tied at 77 with 3:15 remaining. Mitchell comes off the screen. He's got a double team. Goes inside Robinson. His pass to Brook. Dennis Rodman says, I should have bounced past it to you. I'm sorry.
Let's see if Michael tries to set up right under the basket. You take David Robinson away from him, he's going to do that.
Jay pops out, 10 to shot clock. Double teamed on top. Steve Kerr for three. Back to the ball, right on line too. Gets it out to Jackson. Bulls get back very quickly defensively. David Robinson just comes into your picture. Now he has the ball top of the circle. Back to the screen. And Elliott took down Dennis Rodman.
I think that was frustration right there by Sean Elliott.
Michael with the great defensive play. They get the back door. He gets over on Elliott, blocks the shot, and the worm grabs the rebound, gets taken down. We'll take another look at it. Dennis with 20 rebounds. But the Bulls need to score here.
They've gone to the screen and roll twice now.
Luke. Harper clean in, couldn't save it. Rebound pulled down by the Spurs now as Johnson pushes it up the floor. David Robinson from 17.
That's where they can't fall asleep. You can't retreat to the basket when David Robinson's trailing the play. We've seen it on several occasions now where he comes in as a trailer and hits that free throw line jump shot.
They have a tendency when a guy's as big as David Robinson to want to go back and get in that painted area, but he pulls up, stops for those 20-footers.
MJ fakes, got Duncan in the air, put up the shot. Robinson right there. His hit was short.
Michael might be getting a little bit tight.
Well, in the last two possessions, Michael made passes. They got nothing out of it. That time he might have forced the issue just a little bit.
Timeout San Antonio. 1:50 remains in overtime. The Spurs lead. Collins will be live in the locker room. Then Fox Sports News, Hornets in the Heat. James Worthy takes a look at this ball game, Spurs and the Bulls, and then a feature on how to beat the Bulls. Hadn't happened in a while, though.
Yeah, Michael 10 for 32. Let's see what happens here as Elliott gets screened off. He goes up. He's got only one block shot, but that big body gives Michael a little bit of a problem, and then Robinson grabs the rebound.
Crowd starts to make some noise here at the United Center. Minute 50 left. The Spurs lead the Bulls by a couple. Elliott wants it. Now Rodman came out to harass him a little bit. Shot clock at 8, at 7, at 6. Duncan comes out to the screen and roll. Avery Johnson. Shot clock at 2, at 1. Johnson off balance jumper. MJ right there. The Bulls can top.
Give credit to Dennis. He didn't allow Duncan to come over, set the screen, used his body. Didn't allow him to go over and get Avery Johnson.
Ron Harper. Nope. Dennis tapped it. It's still loose. And Duncan came up with it. Harper will come up with a foul. Dennis has tapped a couple tonight that Tim Duncan has seen the opportunity of and pulled it away.
So Duncan's got 20 rebounds. Robinson's got 12. For the Bulls, Rodman has 20 and Michael Jordan has 10. His shooting eye, Michael's shooting eye is not there. 10 for 32.
Well, he's had to take a lot of tough shots tonight.
Right.
And several with the shot clock winding down. And
It's really like that Boston game. They just kept looking for him in that last quarter.
Elliott with MJ right there, goes down low. Robinson. MJ got a piece of his arm, no call, and Robinson's furious. Greg Popovich hollering at Hugh Holland. Michael, top of the circle.
Wilson may not blow so easy here.
Inside for Luke and all kinds of traffic. Robinson took it away and then lost it out of bounds with 12 in the shot clock. Popovich is still going crazy, and Phil wants a timeout. 54.2 left, and the Spurs will lead the Bulls by 2. The action stays hot and heavy Wednesday night. The Magic will be here. Penny Hardaway and Horace Grant take on the Chicago Bulls. Game room is at 6:30. Tip-off 7 o'clock Wednesday night right here on Sports Channel. You ever feel like you're spinning your wheels?
Yeah.
Let my tail go.
David Robinson, he had a thing to say to the referees that you guys aren't making the right call. Make the right call. Make the right call. Make the right call. Michael, he says, look at him. Look at him.
He's clapping.
Michael says, you know what, David? I'm telling him, make the right call.
It's my house.
12 seconds on the clock, 54.2 in the overtime.
I look for Steve Kerr to maybe get a screen here, get a shot off. There he is.
Baseline jumper.
Ooh, almost got it. They set that up nicely, too, and he got it. His feet underneath him. He got a good look at the basket.
Did everything but go in. Now big possession for both teams. Spurs with the basket can open this up by 4. Robinson goes right back to Avery Johnson. Missed it. Michael with the rebound.
Well, Bulls got lucky there.
Yes,
Avery
sir.
Johnson, they've been doubling off him, and he just cut to the basket that time. The Bulls weren't ready for it.
MJ one-on-one with Elliott. Fades, fires, hits again! And the Spurs want a timeout. 21.8 seconds left, and MJ has done it again to the Spurs.
Oh, hum.
Yeah.
There's still 28.
22 seconds, yeah.
22 seconds on the clock. Let's take a look at it here. Elliott really working on him, trying to get his hands in the way. Michael, he didn't care if he draws a foul on this play because up fades away. 2 players on him and nothing but net.
Well, that was not bad defense by Sean Elliott. Gets Michael going to his right, and here comes Jaren Jackson as a help defender. And just look how tough that is.
Dennis sees it going through and just runs away from it.
Well, down the stretch here, San Antonio has been going to David Robinson on this right block. And the Bulls now are aware of that last cut by Avery Johnson.
You know, a problem, too, they have, Beck, is that Dennis goes to that offensive board so hard, and who does he bring with him? The guy that's guarding him, Duncan. Duncan's got 21 rebounds, so a missed shot. Dennis is really trying to slap that ball up and tap it to himself before he gets a clean play on offense.
And as he slaps it up and taps it, Duncan has been right there to get the number.
Well, he's much bigger and more physical than Dennis is, but you look at both of these guys, each have 21.
Bulls still shooting about 30.5%. 30 of 98 from the floor. Assistant coach Scottie Pippen. The Spurs, remember, they were at, what, 50-some%, almost 60% at one point in time. They're down to 42%. 33 of 78.
And if you're San Antonio here, you can use the entire clock. One thing you don't want to allow to have happen is to take a quick shot, unless it be a layup, or the Bulls would make a mistake defensively. You want to use this clock and try to get a shot so the Bulls don't have a chance to.
Or the foul patch, because the Bulls now heavy with in the bonus. Luke Longley with 6 blocks in this game. 15 points. Nice job.
It looks like San Antonio is going to take the ball from half court. And this is sometimes a tough place to put the ball in play from, because that half-court line you use as a defender. The Bulls have always been good coming out of timeouts, putting the grips on a team and making it tough to get the ball inbounds. Although San Antonio has 2 big release men in Duncan and Robinson they can throw the ball to.
They've got a delay a game and the 20
that the Bulls can use, right? MJ's talking to Elliott right now. He's talking to him.
Throw it to me. Throw it to me.
So Michael can play off here and try to take this inbound pass away.
Robinson is down in that block again. They run Sean Elliott to pop out that way. That's what's left in overtime. We're tied at 79. Got to go to his left. He wants Robinson to come up and set the screen for the screen roll. Avery Johnson instead does it with Tim Duncan, the rolling jumper. 2 seconds, 1 second. Now the Bulls got timeout. The clock shows 0. Let's see what the Bulls get.
Hughes says, I got it.
A little surprised at that shot by Avery Johnson. I thought he might have even had a chance to throw it back to David Robinson, who was at the free throw line. All the defense was flowing towards him.
Well, you're right. Robinson was standing there wide.
They only gave him 4 tenths. They only gave the Bulls 4 tenths. It looked like it was 1.1. And that's what the Bulls bench is saying the same thing.
Let's see if we can see what happened.
Here's a screen. You see Luke go down below the ball. And here's where I thought Robinson was open.
Oh, yeah. Minute and a second and a half.
There's Steve Kerr signaling timeout right on the edge of Chicago, out of bounds at 1.1. Wow. But the story is that there's only 4 tenths left.
We may be headed for second overtime here, unless Miracle Michael.
You remember last year Boston was playing Detroit. Detroit threw the ball inbounds with 3/10 of a second left. All you can do is tip that ball in. They set a back screen on Lindsey Hunter, threw the ball to the rim and allowed him. You're not going to see that happen here with David Robinson and Tim Duncan along the back line.
Well, there was a little more time on the clock when Scotty didn't want to go in the game, and they threw the ball into Tony, and Tony laced the three-pointer against the Knicks to beat him. But I think there was like a 1.8 on the clock. This has got to be a catch and a shot.
The officials are saying that the Bulls did not have possession of the ball, and that's why they didn't give them any more time.
Yeah. It was very close. Very close. Well, look at Michael. He may be the only one that has any strength left to get that ball up from any area.
Michael and Luke have both played 43 minutes. Ron Harper's played 31.
Do they have a foul to take?
San Antonio does, I believe, yeah.
When the ball comes in, I would just splatter a guy.
Exactly.
Just go after him.
But from their perspective, if you take it, the guy's going to catch and shoot it.
Out of 3, too. You get 3 free throws.
It's a tough foul to take.
May not need 3 if you...
I would just expect them to switch everything here and try to make the Bulls throw the ball, outside of it.
I would almost put Duncan on the guy taking the ball out of the mouth.
Pax, what would MJ be saying in the huddle at this point in time as he's coming out on the floor?
He probably wants to pass the ball right here.
Give me the ball.
Right. Look for some back screen action. Maybe Michael loop it over the top. He was going to try to catch it in the air and put that thing up. Tony didn't throw it high enough.
We are going to a second overtime. The Bulls and Spurs are tied at 79.
Just had a chance to sneak my head inside the huddle of the San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich is extremely upset. It seems like the last couple of times on the floor, the Spurs haven't come anywhere close to running what he's been trying to tell them to run. He's irate, but hopefully now that maybe they'll get the lesson if you're a Spurs fan who is. But guys, back to you at the table.
Well, there are quite a few Spurs fans. I don't know there are many here. Last double overtime game, April 22nd, 1994. The Bulls took on the Celtics and won by 10.
I remember a 3 overtime game. John Paxson was in that one. The playoffs against Phoenix.
This time the Bulls win the 10. Steve Kerr gets it right back. First overtime, he hit a shot from almost right there. MJ down low. Quick turnaround jumper back to the rim. Luke came inside everybody and took it away. MJ penetrates inside, finds Luke, and a blocking foul will go against Jaren Jackson.
92 was the last.
MJ is a little...
Yeah, 92 was the last triple overtime they had, and I think that was against Utah when Michael got tossed.
That's right. During the regular season.
Yeah.
MJ was a little shaken up as he got up. Looks like he's all right, but he was getting up a little slowly. Of course, he's played a lot of minutes, too. Jordan goes inside for Luke, put it up, got it blocked. Luke put it right back up and in.
Well, they've run that several times and hadn't gotten much out of it, but it's available. And Luke that time, even though he got the first attempt blocked, stayed with it.
Robinson.
Great double. Well, again, and we've talked about it this whole game ever since Vinny Del Negro went out. Their perimeter players have not shot well. And you can double team off of them, and Harp just snuck behind David Robinson outside of his vision. Comes up with a big.
Pax as a guard, you loved it when the big guy brought it down low.
Oh, absolutely. Now the Bulls have a chance here to maybe possibly step in a gap and steal this tip.
You got to steal the tip. You got to guess where it's going to go, and it should go back. There it is.
81-79, Bulls with the lead. 4:12 remain.
Michael, 44 minutes, you got to be really tired. Although he doesn't know at this stage, does he?
Inside MJ. Turns and looks at Elliott. Backs his way in. And his pass deflected. Gets it out. Jackson. That's a charge. Okay. Offensive foul, Bulls ball.
He does that well, doesn't he? Anticipating which direction the guy on the fly is going to go. Sacrifices his body for it.
2 in a row. He reaches in, ties up David Robinson to get the tip. Now here he steps into Jackson, a runaway locomotive.
You know, Jaren Jackson really had nowhere to go, and he's got 3 defenders back there. That's
You pull up in that situation.
Absolutely.
Pull out to the side.
.353 remains in the second overtime. Luke comes up high. The Bulls initiate their triangle that way. Steve Kerr starts to drive, picks it up. Hart. 8 on the shot clock. Goes down again low for Luke. Shot clock at 4.
Really tough.
Now the Spurs with a chance to tie. Guess where they'll go. Robinson backs his way in. He's been quiet, and Luke has played very well against him.
Yes, he has. You know, the big guy's only got a couple baskets in the second half. One in the overtime quarter, and one in the final quarter, one in the third quarter.
Harp comes off the screen, goes around Robinson. Off the finger roll from Ron Harper, and the Bulls lead it 83-79.
Well, the Bulls have been running that screen and roll with Michael. They allowed Harper to run at that time. I don't think San Antonio was really ready for his quick penetration.
Tim Duncan called for the basketball down there.
And you see what San Antonio is doing now, too. They're taking Avery Johnson, the post passer. Even though Sean Elliott hasn't shot it well, they want him to be the post passer in case that double team comes off. At least you have a guy you think can knock down some shots that'll get the ball.
And a collapse again by Michael, leaving a guy outside, going in to help his pivot man.
Now he's coming off of Jaren Jackson. And Jaren's made 1 field goal here tonight. And Michael's kind of roaming off of him.
I would think if Jaren Jackson shoots an 18-footer in this situation, he'll get the hook immediately.
Well, he made the big one.
He did make one.
He did, but that was it.
The other end of it too, Tom, is that if he's open and it's a good shot, you got to take it.
I understand, but I'm just guessing they want to go elsewhere. But I know what you're saying. Elliott with a baseline jump.
Wow, he doesn't have his legs underneath him.
Harp brings it out. The Bulls leading by 4 now with 2.5 remaining. This for a 7-point lead.
Now that play that Hart made is the one we were saying that Jackson should have made earlier. Pull it out and take a look.
Robinson, as Johnny pointed out, has been very quiet since the half. A great move.
Oh, Dennis, it's a technical foul on Dennis. He gave him a little shot in the back, and David is down. David Robinson is down. A great move he makes in here. He goes up.
David looks like he's all right now.
But the wind, I hope that's just what it was. The wind knocked out him, but he...
Those are the little things Dennis did a lot of last year that he needs to stay away from this year.
Luke Longley goes over to try and get between Dennis and the official.
Get another one now. Don't need another one.
Jaren Jackson will shoot the technical foul.
Yeah, David Robinson just froze Luke Longley there, didn't he?
Yeah, that was...
Luke's done a pretty good job of sliding his feet to cut him off baseline, but he just couldn't get that foot going. And Robinson blew right by him.
Well, Luke's played 46 minutes, as has Michael. Dennis Rodman's played 44. 83-82, Bulls with the lead after that technical foul shot with 2:09 left in the second overtime.
It's been Luke and Dennis here. I mean, Luke and Michael with the offense.
Okay. With the fake. A block. Michael got it back. Shot clock at 3 at 2. Tip. Dennis got it. Loose ball foul on Luke. I think it's on Luke. Yep, Luke Longley picks up the foul.
He's gone.
And that hurts because, guys, aside from that last play, he has played extremely well.
He really has.
He makes a good effort of charging the glass on that long shot. He's really played well here tonight. 17 points. He has 6 block shots to go along with that. He's been very active. And Phil's going to take his time in replacing him. Give these guys a little break in the process.
Luke leaves 17 points, 9 rebounds, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, a couple assists. He's really done a great job on David Robinson.
This is where it makes it tough. Now you lose that size in Luke. And Jason comes back in, and they're going to pick and choose now. Phil does slide Dennis over to Robinson and puts Jason on Duncan.
Robinson pops out, looks down low.
That's that high low they like with the 2 big guys.
Goes double team, triple team. Bounce baseline jumper. Avery goes. And MJ got it again.
What a play by Jordan defensively.
And he looks a little winded now. Bulls lead it by 1:17 left.
And the other thing you lose with Luke out of the game is that body to throw the ball into. They've been real effective at getting him the ball inside.
Hart for 3. Front of the rim, tapped out. Rodman got it. Big rebound for Dennis.
Get back in your offense. Take some time off the clock. Martinez left Steve.
Hart, baseline jumper. Picks up his dribble. 10 on the shot clock. Under a minute remains. The Bulls lead it in double overtime. Here he goes. Dennis tipped it. Ron Harper got it this time. And Phil wants a timeout. 39.1 seconds left in double overtime here at the United Center. The Bulls lead the Spurs 83-82.
All right, to take a look at the defense here. Michael is over on Duncan. Now Avery comes over in the corner, gives the ball again, driving to the middle. Avery's there, but Michael steals the ball, and as he does, look at Scottie Pippen saying, there it is, my man on defense. There it was. He just took it away from him.
And you saw MJ kind of hang his head a little bit. He is tired.
Rodman, we talked about him tapping the ball, getting the ball back. They had a couple shots at it here. You got 39 seconds, 18 on the clock, and the Bulls got a little rest period there.
Leading rebounders, look at this. You don't often see these numbers from anybody. One guy in a game. We got 2 guys with 22 rebounds. 17 in the shot clock. Game clock at 36. Michael one-on-one with Sean Elliott. Takes the shot, fakes it again, baseline jump. Oh, he had it again! 85-82 Bulls with the lead now. Now the Spurs want a timeout. Spurs are 0 for 5 from three-point range. 26 and a half left. The Bulls lead it by 3.
For 38 up to now. There he goes, a double fake. He makes the basket. 12 for 39, but it's not the percentage. It's when he gets them. He put them in the overtime. Goes by their bench. Here's a look at the Bulls bench. 19 seconds on the clock. 26 and a half. 3-point lead Bulls.
Well, as you mentioned, Tom, they're 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. Vinny Del Negro, Chuck Person out of the game. Don't really have that 3-pointer shooter. They have a lot of time now, outside of Elliott, a lot of time now to go for a quick 2 if they want to get it.
Bulls sealing off, and finally they get it into Duncan. Jackson lost it. Shot clock at 15. On top, Elliott takes it to take a tough 3. Great block. Now the 3 goes up, way off. MJ right there. 13 seconds to go, and the Spurs have to foul Michael Jordan.
They had one to give, so the Bulls, I believe, are still going to have to inbound the basketball.
Right. So the Bulls will get it in the bag with 12.4, or where they want to take it from. Michael likes to take it from the end. Let's see what happens here. Where's he going to take it from? It should be on the side, right?
Well, unless you would call a timeout, that'd be the only time you could move it.
Yeah. If they were down, they would want to go from there. I don't know what they want to do here. Here's a missed shot.
Hart, great defense, right on Elliott's shooting hand.
Looked like he made him take a travel on that, and then a little piece of it he gets here. Michael with the rebound. 13 rebounds in a game for MJ.
Reggie Geary comes in along with Corey Alexander, David Robinson, Sean Elliott leave.
Well, you can throw the ball now to Mike. You got a small guy on him. Just throw it over the top.
And let him whack it.
There it is.
Corey Alexander picks up the foul, and now Bulls will go to the line. Here comes Dennis Rodman, Ron Harper back in.
You hope that Michael's has got a little bit of legs left. He's what, 40? He's what, 48? Is that 46?
Michael played 48 so far. Luke Longley 46. Dennis Rodman 46. Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr comes out.
Michael will kill you.
Yeah,
no matter what the shooting percentage is. You better.
As hard as he's had to work tonight, it's hard to believe that these are only his 5th and 6th free throw attempts for the game.
It seems like he's picking himself off the floor left and right. So it's a 4-point lead now, 11 and a half seconds.
See if Spurs take a timeout if Michael makes this.
This would be this is 2 possessions if he.
Dennis foul. He'll pick up the foul.
He did.
Boy, that's.
Hugh Hollins waited to make that call until Dennis pulled the rebound away.
That's tough because now you put them on the free throw line. That ain't time going off the clock.
I think Dennis is gone now too. Yeah. Now they should bring Robinson back in here. You would think, but.
And listen to this crowd.
Dennis Rodman leaves at 46 minutes. He 1 for 10 in the field, but he had 22 rebounds. And Phil is up here. He says, I didn't even touch him, Phil, but Phil says, I can't get it back for you now, Dennis. 11 and a half.
I think the Bulls are arguing who's going to shoot the free throw. They don't want it to be
Jackson.
Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, he's their best free throws. You're going to say, who was it? And they said, no, it was Jackson.
MJ still shaking his head.
They'll take a timeout to talk over what they want to do.
See if it was Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, he's got inside position there on Dennis. They try to squeeze him with Johnson and Jackson. Boy, that's a.
Well, Dennis didn't go for the in move. He went for to let those guys collapse and then go around them.
He just used his arm to tip the ball to himself. That's what I always wonder, though, if that play earlier in the game with the overtime with Robinson when he gave him that shot. All that does is give the official an incentive to look for more things from Dennis. And when I said that's what he has to stay away from, I think it's for those reasons. In fact, when he does something like that, now allows the officials to, in their own mind, give them the reason to look for anything Dennis does out on the floor.
They're going to look. The Bulls are going to look to have some good free throw shooters and ball handlers in there now. They've got a small team. They didn't go for the big rebounder. It looks like Bushy and Steve Kerr, Michael will be in the game, and I don't know if it'll be Harp, Kukoc.
Well, you'd like to get the ball into obviously the good free throw shooter's hands, but the Bulls have 2 timeouts left, and they're 20. So if there's any doubt in who you're throwing the basketball to, you can always take the timeout.
Here's the play you were talking about, Pax, with Dennis and.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that Dennis. People looked at a lot last year.
You know, I don't know if you missed it today, but Shaq was fined $7,000 and suspended for a game when he comes back.
Oh, for that slap?
That's an offensive slap. Yeah. He's going to miss the game. He's on the injured list, I guess, now, but I would make him miss the game against Osteopath. All right, Joe Klein coming in.
Joe's a good free throw shooter, too.
11 and a half seconds. The Bulls with a 3-point lead. They have another free throw.
Now, the one thing you do want to be careful of here is if they would have set something up to intentionally miss this free throw.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you have these 2 big bodies in Robinson and Duncan who can go to the boards.
And you must keep them off like you have to keep Michael off that runway, too. So Steve Kerr is out, and so is Ron Harper.
That could be part of the reason Joe Klein comes in, too, that big muscle body to get this rebound in case they miss. They did, and a foul. David Robinson was holding Joe Klein.
Joe will shoot. So Joe did what he had to do, stepped in, held his ground. That was what they were worried about. Two good low post guys in pushing, and there's the arm underneath. He's got him pinned. And you saw Duncan standing that free throw, facing, getting ready to jump in the lane. Two big rebounders. So Joe Klein, who's had some time on the bench, he's got 10 minutes in the game. Hit a nice couple baskets early.
Carl Herrera gets set to check in.
This could be put away.
Come right to you in your living room.
Nope.
That's a tough position to come into when you've been sitting that long. Although Joe's been an excellent free throw shooter for his career, up around 80%.
Now, Michael missed a free throw, and now Joe misses one, and I'm telling you what, these guys are dragging on their knees.
Need one here.
And Spurs have a timeout and a 20 left.
And the Spurs take yet another timeout. Our next television game on Sports Channel will be Wednesday night. The Bulls will take on the Orlando Magic. Penny Hardaway, Horace Grant will be here. 6:30 the game room, and then 7 o'clock tip-off. So note the earlier time, 6:30 Wednesday night. The Bulls and the Magic here on Sports Channel. Eric Collins is coming up. He'll be in the locker room. Chet Kopic, Norm Van Leer will be at the studio. All that's still coming up here on Sports Channel as well.
Tommy, I stopped at the hospital yesterday over at the Shriners Hospital. Saw Carmen Villapane, of course, one of the Bulls' #1 fans.
Sure.
Just had an operation, and he's cheering for the Bulls. Said to say hello back to you and Tommy.
That's nice. Carmen, we wish her the best. The hip surgery. Last year, these guys had some injury problems, Pax. We talked about it earlier in the ballgame. They really lost some games.
In person, Robinson and Elliott were talking about almost 60 points of their offense, and they lost Dominique Wilkins, who went back over to Greece. And Charles Smith is a guy who may have to retire because of arthritis in his knee. So, yeah, they lost 347 games, and there's always something that comes from that. And I think a lot of these guys got chances to play, and then they were lucky in the draw of the lottery, and they ended up with Tim Duncan.
Charles Smith, a lot of people remember him trying to still get a shot off of Madison Square Garden.
That's right.
Game 5, I think it was.
Jay knocked that ball away. What San Antonio did a long time ago is they got the #1 draft choice. They took David Robinson, and I think they increased their win total by 32 wins the next year. This past season, they lost 39 more games than they did the year before. Two huge differences, and obviously their club records. But what they've done now with Tim Duncan, I think, guys, they may not be a great team yet. Duncan is not quite ready to assert himself offensively like they want him to be, but they think by the time the season ends, they'll be a great force in the West.
That free throw was so close to being made. I wonder if they tried to miss
I
it
think
or
he
make
tried
it.
to make it.
Don't you?
He tried to make it.
Yeah, it was right up there.
I think this San Antonio team right now, their defense is ahead of their offense. They're trying to get used to this idea of playing Duncan and Robinson together, but the more they're out on the floor together, the better it's going to be for them.
Remember, the Bulls have a delay a game.
108 shots.
Wow.
Okay, watch Steve Kerr get bumped off here as they go to center court for Harp. Wow. That was not a good shot. Harp wasn't putting any pressure on him. He just up with that shot. He had to get a quick one up, but boy, that was look for
real
the foul. Look for the foul coming here with 6 seconds. There's Joe.
Nope.
It's over. It's over.
In double overtime here at the United Center, the Chicago Bulls, as regulation was coming down, looked like they were in trouble. Michael Jordan hit a 3 at the buzzer to tie the game. It went to double overtime, and the Chicago Bulls here at home had a tremendous victory. Here's Eric Collins with our British Airways Inside of the Game. Eric?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. The heart of a champion tonight. You just look like you're going on fumes, but still. 29 points, 13 boards. You played 48 minutes. Talk to me about the shot you made at the end of regulation, three-pointer.
I had a clear look. I haven't taken any threes all season long. I didn't feel I was ready to shoot them. And here I was thrust into a situation where I had to shoot it. And, luckily we got enough opportunities to try to make a three. And, I had a good look at it, and it just went straight in.
Double overtime this early in the season. How were you holding up? How was the team holding up?
Well, we're not really playing our best basketball, but, you know, this is a stretch where we can get ourselves in condition, in shape, you know, and hopefully get out of the blocks quick. I mean, we know we had a deficit without a key individual, but, you know, it doesn't mean we're going to come to work and play hard. And, you know, tonight was a hard effort, and you know, I'm glad that we ended up winning the game because it made sure that the effort that we gave was very meaningful.
Now, Michael, everyone brought their hard hat and came to work tonight. Luke Longley especially. Can you talk about Luke's performance?
Well, Luke, we need him. I mean, especially with those two twin towers they were throwing at us, we needed him to come in and give us a good effort, knowing that Dennis is going to hold his own. And, you know, he really came in and gave us some good minutes.
Michael, thanks for talking to us. A huge win in double overtime. The Bulls on top, 87-83. Michael, 29 points, 13 boards.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's our British Airways insight to the game. We have plenty more coming up on post-game. Chet